Thanks for staying with us. So, in continuation of our review on Governor Sanwo-Olu's 2-year administration so far, our guests will continue to discuss with us the engagement of women. According to the reports we have, in Lagos, we have about 46% of about 25 million population to be women, which is great. And the fact that you have a few women also in your cabinet, and I would like to see what else the government is doing to include women within its administrative achievements. So let's go into your government and what women, the role women play in your state. Let's start with your cabinet. How has it been? Are the women there part of the government? You know how you have just women just for the sake of women, let them just be there, sharp? Or are they giving you active roles within the government to actually function?
You know that the special advisor on works is a woman. Education is a woman. SA housing, a woman.
Agriculture.
Agriculture is a woman. And they're all doing exploits. For example, the last Women's Day, International Women's Day, the women were the ones that conducted ESCO. And the men were like, wow.
Wow. Properly organized.
Yes.
Yeah, so I wanted to know some of the programs that, the government is doing for women and how vulnerable women can reach and be a part of it.
Okay. There are a lot of programs that the Ministry for Women Affairs is doing for women in Lagos State. We usually have this mega empowerment program where in the last 2 years, about 5,780 women have been empowered. Gone are the days when government does empowerment programs and you just bring up all sorts of names and you just distribute those equipments and then they sell them off, immediately after the program. What we do as the ministry is to go out to the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget has a department called SOKU where they have the register of the vulnerable in the states. We go to take from such register. Then some of our graduates from our 18 skills acquisition centers, the very good ones, also benefit from the empowerment programs. And then we meet with Association of Artisans. A lot of young people that have graduated, they've taken their freedom, but do not have money to set themselves up. Those are the categories of people that we empower in Lagos State.
What would you say is the response towards these programs that have been set up? Are you happy with how people connect and want to be part of these programs, or do you think that women could actually do better about finding out what these programs are and engaging and participating?
Well, I was just going to talk about one other program that is germane, is the short-term skills acquisition training, where we go out. We've been to about 25 centers to train women on various skills. And those skills are skills that they do not need shops. They do not need too much to start their own businesses. We train them for 4 weeks, and we give them startup packs to be able to start their businesses. And indeed, after the programs where we go for monitoring and evaluation, it's been very, very, very encouraging. Some of them start those businesses even while they're still being trained. And Lagos State government has trained about 6,750 women in 25 centers.
Okay, so there was a conversation that we had with an entrepreneur earlier this week, and it's a conversation that we've been having on the show many times, that sometimes skill acquisition goes beyond giving a skill and giving resource, because running a business is what we need to solve the problem within this country, and the important role of mentoring. And we have lots of businesses that people can be paired with for mentoring. How are you, is your ministry doing anything to provide mentorship for existing businesses and sort of plug people into the mentorship to scale up their business more successfully?
Yes. When our graduates, when our students in our skills acquisition centers are about to graduate, we give them entrepreneurial and digital training. And also, we've had about 2 of those programs where we pull in small SMSs, people, small business owners, to teach them how to run their businesses. And also, because of the new normal of online marketing and all of that. We've had digital marketing training for women in Lagos State.
How can people access this thing? Because somebody is watching now and wondering, in this state that I
can't
am
hear
here,
anything.
so how will I benefit from this?
Well, they can come to the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Block 18, Alausa Ikeja. Or they can call this phone number.
No, we'll post that
at the end of
the show.
At the end of the show, okay.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask, you know, we usually have a problem of data. You know, we don't have, like, everybody's not really captured, because every time you do BVN, you do this, you do that. And tomorrow again, they'll still request for more data for anything you want to do. What's the guarantee that you have data on vulnerable people? Because there are a lot of people who I see around the slums who have no hope, and I don't see them participating in some of these programs you've mentioned, and they're in Lagos State.
Like I mentioned earlier on, there is a department in the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget that is saddled with the responsibility of gathering data of the vulnerable in the society. And when World Bank or any of these international donors want to have anything to do with the state, they insist on
Data.
those register, for them to make sure that they get to the grassroots.
Do you keep updating that?
Yes, yes. There's a department that is saddled with that responsibility.
Now, as a commissioner, I would like to ask you, what's your greatest challenge, in your ministry? What's that thing you find almost insurmountable, or that you're trying daily to come above or rise above, that you can share with us, and maybe people listening can say, let me see if I can partner with the ministry to support them in this regard?
Well, we've empowered over 48,000 women. But if you look at the population of the women in Lagos State, which is about 11.5 million, we still haven't done enough. So we need partners. We need people to join the ministry to empower as many women as possible in Lagos State.
How easy is it? Because many people have ideas to empower, but then maybe they'll send their proposal, and because, you know, it gives credence if you say, in partnership with the Ministry of Women Affairs in Lagos State, we're going to be doing this self-funded program. But how accessible is your ministry to support such initiatives?
It depends on what you bring on the table. Some people will want cheap labor and come to you and say, we want to empower your women. Some time ago, somebody came and said, we want to empower your women. We want them to go on the streets to pick plastics. And when they come back, we'll weigh the plastics, and then we'll give them money.
As in?
For me, I thought that was looking for cheap labor.
And inhuman.
You know? So, but recently, a company came on and said, we want to train your women on how to ride tricycle. We want to train them how to maintain it. And while the training is on, we'll be giving them stipends. And we'll accommodate them while the training is on. Those are the kinds of partnerships we're looking for. As much as we want to empower women, we don't want to enslave them.
All right. Let me go on a quick break. When I come back, I'll continue with Mariam. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have our guests with us. So Mariam had a question for the break. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so, you know, I'm looking at this number, the estimated number of 11.5 million women. And sometimes when we talk about empowerment program, we always see it just, you know, in a small way, micro level. Could you paint a picture of what it would mean if more women were empowered? What it would mean for them individually and what it would mean for the economy of the state?
Thank you very much for that question. When you empower a woman, you empower a nation. When a woman is empowered, like I said earlier on, she will not be forced to remain in an abusive marriage. When a woman is empowered, she'll be economically viable, and then she will be able to contribute to the GDP of the state. So women that are empowered, it boosts their confidence. You know, when you have to go cap in hand, begging for money to buy little things, it diminishes your confidence. But when you know that you're self-reliant, it boosts your confidence. And we don't want women in Lagos State that cannot stand up for themselves. We don't want women in Lagos State that will be intimidated, by their spouses. So the more women empowered, the higher the GDP of the state.
I really like what you said concerning when you said you did not want them an empowerment that would enslave people, because for me it is very, very important that our leaders value the human beings that they are leading and then do not offer them what you would not be willing to offer your own relative as well. So I must applaud that.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the reasons it seems to me like we take 100 steps forward and we take like 300 backwards is the fact that the government is not liaising enough with industry. So you empower these women, you give them something to start up business. We know that running businesses in Lagos, in Nigeria, is hard. And statistics have shown us that in the 5 years, if your business survives up to 5 years, you are okay. Most businesses crumble before they get to 5 years. Now, how do you ensure that you partner so that when you finish the skills acquisition, these people have a place to work and earn a living, not just them taking what you've given them to struggle and start their own business, which will require a whole lot of things to run business?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, most of the skills are things that they can start on their own. They don't need to go to work under anybody.
How do they survive?
Gone are the days where everybody wants white-collar jobs. These days, even graduates go to learn skills. We don't just train and abandon them. There is an agency in Lagos State, the LSCTF, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, where they can access funds, they can access loans in partnership with Access Bank and some other banks. So the Lagos State government is not just training and leaving them to their own.
Let me give you an example, because recently we've been having talks with lots of leaders in the business sector. And here, if you're this, let me build on what PC said earlier. So you've empowered 1,000 women with grinders, another 1,000 with sewing machines. What PC is alluding to is the fact that the government needs to build an ecosystem such that all these blenders of pepper, you're all blending towards one object. So imagine I put this 1,000 people in this huge factory, and you're not blending pepper to package it, put it in the freezer and sell. It's going to be Lagos State pepper, whatever package, and we Lagos State provide the distribution channels, and where it's Lagos pepper, blended, fresh pepper across the states. You've empowered them, and there's something doing. Yeah. The sewing also, the sewing machine, you are sewing a Lagos State uniform, cloth, whatever supplier. So they're all sewing towards this objective of Lagos State students.
There's a market already.
There's a market of, because we have huge 20 million people in Lagos State. So you're building ecosystems of these various skills that you're building. That's one.
To sustain them.
Secondly, based on also, these are just our own small contributions. Secondly, based on what Mr. Akintayo said, said that if Lagos State or government gets maybe 10,000, 20,000 entrepreneurs, small scale, medium scale, higher scale, top level, clinical level, different levels. And say, okay, for this level, please hire 2 people. This level, hire 3 people. This level, hire 5. This level, hire 10, 100.
We'll solve the problem of
you hire people. So you need a PA. Get somebody to do XYZ, because you're not ensuring people are in the job market. So these are little initiatives that we can build.
Everybody cannot be a CEO.
Yes, anybody can be a CEO. So just small concepts that.
There is a ministry in Lagos State called the Ministry of Wealth Creation. Yes. Those are the kinds of things that they do in wealth creation. They create jobs, they create wealth. They get jobs for youths, women, and whatever.
Let me take...
and also, let me quickly also mention this. The Ministry of Commerce, we have a fashion hub where people can go in,
fantastic,
do whatever they want to do. They have all sorts of machines that ordinarily people cannot afford. You just go in there, do whatever you want to do for stipends.
Oh, that's
so we have a fashion hub, and the Lagos State government is also building a leather hub.
These are the sort of things we want to hear. Thank you.
Let me take this call. Kunle, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to thank our guest, the guest, for the initiative taken so far to empower women. But one issue remains, the issue of harassment by Lagos State agencies. I know quite a few women who rather do their business putting their stuff in their cars, driving around because they don't want to subject themselves to different agencies coming for one thing or the other. So the whole thing boils down to the ease of doing business for entrepreneurs. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you. I think, did you get to
Yeah, but
I wasn't really clear. Something about, I don't know.
entrepreneurs, I think
Was not very clear. Okay. We have to run. Do we have any tweets?
Yes, we have. Blikis Mafe says it's good to know that there are men, that things are changing now. We need to advocate that men be allowed to express their emotions without being castigated as being weak. Masculinity has more to eat than men be asked to suck up their pain. It is also counterproductive.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
All right, we have to run, madam. Is there any final words you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, Lagos women, it's high time you went out to look for jobs, to get skills. Whatever you learn cannot be taken from you. We have 18 skills acquisition centers around Lagos and our women development centers. The phone numbers to call will be displayed on the screen immediately after this program.
All right, that's all we can take. Let's go on a break. When we come back, move on to other hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.